What I think the team is trying to say, which I've always argued along such lines, is that in transition must lead to transformation. And in transformation must lead to the building of strong and sustainable institutions. I've always believed in strong institutions, not strong men or strong women, because strong men and strong women can go. But when institutions are strong, then they can only be used in accordance with the rule of law, not with inquisition, not arbitrarily, not capriciously, not by way of rule of the thumb, but by way of the rule of law. And this is where I disagree with Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari. In his speech, he did say that, yes, he believed in the judiciary. He believes in a strong, virile judiciary. But he went ahead to say that individual rights should be subordinated to national security. And he said that the Supreme Court has said so. Very correct. That the Supreme Court once said that national security are matters that are sensitive and should therefore prevail over individual rights. But each case depends on its own merit. Once the court has ruled on a matter that is adversarial, that is contentious, between the government and an individual, and the government has presented its own side of the argument, and the individual has presented its own side of the argument, and the court as the final arbiter under Section 6 of the Constitution has decided that that individual should be given his liberty, the executive or the president has no overriding power or appellate power to sit in judgment over that court's judgment or that court's decision. That is where I disagree with him. For example, the Dasuki man has been in detention since December 2015. 6 courts have ruled that he should be granted bail. He should go on bail. And on each occasion, he fulfilled the bail terms. Up to the sub-regional court of ECOWAS has also ruled that he should be granted bail. The government turned around and said no, that it is a matter of security risk and that national security should prevail over him. Who says it is only the courts that can decide what security risk can a Dasuki cause? For example, if you release him on bail as ordered by a court of law, and you decide to, for example, put him under house arrest, maybe put some gas around him. Of course, his passport you have already taken. It's not an apparition. It's not a ghost. It will not vanish into thin air. But to still hold him, uses strong arms, uses gunboat, that is not building institutions.
So what do
because you are destroying the institution of the judiciary that has made its own pronouncement.
So what do these situations tell of the government's position, of the executive's position to the judiciary as an institution
in the country?
Yeah, it shows executive rascality, executive lawlessness. It shows that the executive as an institution does not respect the institution of the judiciary. And that is why we need to build strong and sustainable institutions under the doctrine of separation of powers, which is tripartite between the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. The 3 arms of government are bifurcated into 3 different zones. The legislature under Section 4 of the Constitution, the executive, which executes the laws made by the legislature under Section 5, and the judiciary, which interprets the laws made by the legislature and executed by the executive. That hallowed doctrine of separation of powers, which was propagated by many philosophers of yore, people like Aristotle, Plato, but most ably popularized by Baron de Montesquieu, a great French philosopher, in 1748, says that the three arms of government must be separate, equal, and each in its own zone, and none should interfere with the other. So once the court has made a pronouncement, you cannot say, no, I will not obey this decision. I will superimpose my own decision over that of the court. That is not how to build strong institutions. That is where I disagree with Mr.
I know this is a hydra-headed question that could lead to multi-pronged answers, but I'd like to know where you stand on why it has been so difficult, the task of nation building for Nigeria as a country over the past 5 decades.
Yes, the task of nation building has been so difficult because we have had very good leadership, but very bad, pitiable leadership, I meant to say. Because building a nation is about strong institutions of leadership. And when the leadership is poor, with a docile civil society, then we cannot build a strong nation. The civil society in Nigeria, for example, the people themselves are very weak. Everyone wants to stay in his or her comfort zone. Everyone is scared of the government. It was an ex-American president who once said, I think that was, he once said that, you know a good government when the government fears the people. Then you know there is liberty. But when the people fear their government, then there is tyranny.
Right.
So
okay.
we are in a situation, for example, where the people even fear their government, when it should be the other way around. So it is a case of the tail wagging the dog. And that is not good enough.